Hey, it's Avi, what's going on? Today, we are going to take a look at the intro riff for The Way the News Goes by Periphery. You're going to learn how to write a riff like it, we're going to play it, we're going to do a quick analysis, and then we're going to re-engineer it into our very own riff. Let's hear how it goes. So that was the main riff. Let's take a look at what's going on here. This song is in drop C, but I was playing it in drop D. First things first, what we're dealing with here is we have this 0, this open D or open C going to this F sharp, right? So we have that happening simultaneously. And then we do a nice little hammer on up to 12. Okay? This first part is kind of just a glorified sweep. It's just not doing a straight arpeggio. Hammer up, then we get to 9, right? We're just barring there. I mean, on the G, we go up 9 to 11. Just like that. From there, we do this open E, hammering on to the 9th fret, and then we're outlining this kind of F sharp minor chord. This little F sharp minor triad here, this arpeggio. Then we have this cool thing where we go down, a slide down from 12 to 9, pulling off to 0, and then we're playing between this big 9th. You hear that? It's kind of leaving it all out there. Notice how these pull-offs and these open strings are really adding so much color. There's not a point where we stop during this riff, and that's one of the things I love about it. So that's the first little micro phrase that's happening. That's, if I were to teach this to a student, I would say to do just that one part as a little phrase into itself. Just practice that. There's kind of 3 main phrases here in this riff. We just tackled the first. The second one starts here on the 7th fret, going up to 9, and we're doing another type of kind of general sweep motion. So the way I'm picking all this is all down strokes, just like I would a sweep pick. Just like that. And the E, F sharp minor 7, E is the 7th there. So the fact that we keep hitting this E makes it a chord tone in that sense. Right there. That's beautiful. That is a beautiful chord. That would be the F sharp minor without the 5th, and this 7th below the octave, actually. This would be an F sharp minor over E. Then we slide up to 13. And then we kind of mimic it, except we instead do an open B instead of what would actually be the 12th fret. Hear that? Look at my face. It's so weird. But what's so cool about this is really exemplifying the octave trick. And oh my God, this is such a great example of the octave trick at work. We have so many of these octaves happening and these open strings that don't have to be down the octave, but it makes it sound so much more dramatic and has so much more affect and so much more feeling because they're so far away. That distance is just so far. So that's that whole second phrase. That's it. So from there, we start our third and final phrase. We're going up the same way that we did on the very first phrase. But now with our pinky, instead of sliding down, we're sliding up to 14. And doing the exact same position we did when we slid back to 9. We went. We're doing the exact same thing. Right? The same exact position, not actually all that hard. We're just going up instead of down. And it's beautiful. We still have that open E happening. Now we have a little tail at the end, which finishes this third phrase. We go up, then we go right back down. And now we slide up to 14. And we have this, my favorite part of this riff, where we start on 11, do a double string skip all the way up to 14 on the high E, then go down another string skip down to 13 on the G, slide up to 14, and then we have Finishing off on that high E, just open. Like, what? I don't know about you, but that to me sounds amazing. I love that. That is maybe my favorite tail right now, ever. Oh my god. Doing these slides on this SG is not fun, by the way. So then what happens, right, is it continues, we hit some distortion, and the drums come in, the bass comes in, and the guitars come in and go... So awesome. Then it goes back to... So good. And then it kind of continues into the verse from there. That is great. That's like a beautiful beginning to a song. Just A+ all around, you guys. Good job. Okay, so now let's re-engineer this a little bit into our own riff. I'm going to take away one of those little phrases. That's an easy way to keep things feeling different, because the phrasing is a little different. Instead of starting here, right, I want to start down here, kind of where the second micro phrase starts. So I'm kind of taking away that first phrase and just starting right there on the second phrase. So I'm going to use the exact same notes, the exact same arpeggio going up. I'm going to continue with doing it like this, with the 0, the open D, going in with that, like that. Spicy. Okay, so that's it. That's happening there. We have doing 7, 9, up to 7 on the D, then sliding up from 9 to 11 on the G string. Keep going up that F sharp minor 7 arpeggio. Okay, so right here is where I changed things. I really liked all of the open strings. I really loved that, and I loved how much movement there was. So the things I'm going to keep are the movement, a lot of those open strings. We're going to stay within this F sharp minor place more or less, but we're going to change things subtly the second time around. And then at the tail, we're just going to not even do anything similar to what's going on there to fully kind of remove ourselves from the way the news goes from this Periphery song. We're going up here. There's almost this sort of country, like twangy feeling, and I want to lean into that a little bit more than the riff does. So I'm going to do this kind of something like that. Perfect. Then I'm just going to do a slide down to 10 from 12 on the B string, and then go right back up like that. This kind of motion we really don't have any of in this riff, so cool. That differentiates us even more. Nothing wrong with that. That's micro phrase 1. So now what's going to happen is I'm going to change the ascent of it just ever so slightly, but but it's so good. Oh my god, just listen to this. So we're gonna go up the same way, except this time, instead of going to 9, we're going to go to 7 on the G string. And then we're going to go to 9 and then slide up. So we're adding a little more notes here into this ascension. That's different. So the first one we do the exact same thing that Periphery does. But this time, the second time, we're gonna alter that a little bit. Go up from 7 to 9 and then sliding up to 11. And then we're gonna kind of take the tail. We're gonna take the tail. I'm gonna move it up here. Yeah. Like that. Kind of use the exact same thing. So we're starting on this tail. We're starting up here, going up to the high E. Right? So instead, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna start up top. Here I'm kind of inverting that little tail a little bit. We went down, up, down on the original tail by Periphery, and in our new version, we're doing up, down, up. Yeah. Even contour like this, just changing directions. I call it oppositional thinking. You can call it whatever you want. It's all the same. Just go in the opposite direction of something that's inspiring you. Easy, cheap way to make it sound different and keep your inspiration real strong. What's going to happen between then? More open strings. That's what. We're just going to really lean into those open strings. That's it. Just going to go between the open E and open B there and jump into that part. So this isn't even really the tail of this. So that's number 2. I guess we aren't taking away that one of those phrases. It sounds different. It's not the same, but you can hear the homage that it is making. Oh, it's just so good. It's just so good. I'm gushing over my own riff now that I'm writing just because of how good Periphery is. Your inspirations make you better. That's one of the reasons why covering songs is such a great idea, because it allows you to get into the nitty-gritty of your favorite songs. One last part to re-engineer here. We're gonna continue up the same way that we've been doing, same way as the first time, so we're sort of mimicking the phrasing starts that Periphery is doing there, which is honestly fine. Same thing that we're gonna do. And here is where things are gonna go completely different. We're right here. We're gonna go down to 9 on a position change with our first finger, and then slide down to 7. Okay, just like that. All right, then we're gonna have this nice descending line. And then from here, a little triplet. Yeah. Okay, now from here, I'm gonna do a string skip up to 7, and then go back, and then go to the D string. Do you hear that second? We actually are kind of still using some of the material from the Periphery song. We're just taking it down an octave and taking away the big distance from it. Nowhere is there such a linear place in this riff, so that really sets us apart a bit there. You could say that we're kind of liquidating things a bit there too, and okay, that's fine. We're liquidating some of the stuff to just kind of get to the end. Solid use of liquidation. It kind of feels like we're either missing a beat or two, and the way I'm going to play this is slightly different from the Periphery, which is also going to give us a different feel. We're going to play this as a pickup on 3, so that when we get back, we're going to just get right onto 1 for the downbeat. Let's hear how it sounds. So we're doing this. That's our first phrase. Second phrase. This is gonna be at the same tempo as the Periphery song, so wish me luck. Woof. Going to add drums just like we use the same beat that we did for the other one. I'm also going to add rhythm guitar, except I'm not going to just have these rung out chords. These chords rung. I don't know English. I'm not just gonna ring out those chords. I'm gonna add a little bit of a beat to it, kind of maybe off the beat, perhaps. Let's get into it. Let's lay it down. Go 1, 2. You guys, my dude, that was so cool. So there you go. We took The Way the News Goes by Periphery and turned it into our very own riff. We re-engineered it. We did a lot of the same stuff that it did, except we did some classic oppositional thinking, some classic contrary stuff, and we're able to keep so much of the stuff that was really inspiring me at least, from this riff. The open strings, the constant movement, the disparity, the gigantic leaps between some of the notes. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. That was so, so nice. And we really didn't have to do all that much. Notice just how much I took from the riff. We even went a little bit further with some of the parts. Right there, that part feels really like kind of twangy. And we kind of did another twangy part that just kind of was in the same light of it. So really, really fun stuff. If you're interested in doing what I was just doing and learning some of the tools that I was just using to make this brand new riff out of an already existing amazing riff, check out my free guide, 7 Ways to Write a More Effective Melody. I've got 7 tips, it's in the title, and it's good. I mentioned one of them already, the octave trick. So easy. Pop up and down an octave. It's so dramatic and beautiful. So many people have already downloaded this thing, so please go and get it yourself because it is so, so helpful and it's free, dude. Thanks so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I'm Avi, and don't forget to be awesome.